Okay, hi guys. So, welcome to day two. We're supposed to have this yesterday, but uh, okay. Anyway, welcome to day two. All right. Day one was very interesting, where we talked about your brand statements, and we did like some self discovery. It was quite interesting. I saw some of the responses that you guys gave, and it was really powerful. I was so happy that a lot of you were able to, find yourselves, know who you really are, discover new things about yourself, and then you're able to get some clarity on what you're doing, so that when you're going online, especially being that we're building this thing online, you're not going to be jumping from one personality to another. You are able to stay consistent because you're being consistent in a particular personality or in a particular form that allows people to see you as that person. So if today you're jumping from motivational to skit maker to this to that, it might be a little bit difficult for people to, it will be confusing. Your personal brand will be confusing, right? So but then it will be easy for you to just fall off because you get tired. But if you're able to find that consistency, remain consistent and true to who your authentic self is, and bring it into your personal brand, like it's going to it's going to be a game changer for you. So today we're going to be talking about what do you bring to the table, right? So today's task will be around what you bring to the table. I love the fact that we started with the self discovery. So I saw that from your mission statement or your brand statement, you said, okay, this is what I want to do. This is who I want to help. This is the kind of thing I want to bring to the table. So on today's episode or today's task, you're going to now be very clear. You're going to outline that. It will be very easy for you to do that since you already have a clear understanding of who you are and what your mission is, right? So we're going to be looking at your value proposition. We're going to be looking at what do you want to be known for, and how do you want to sound, right? So your value proposition. Now, here are some tips. First of all, I want you to think on um, the particular value you want to offer. Now, I need you to think beyond a single product. Think in terms of solution, right? So don't restrict yourself to, okay, because I'm an affiliate marketer and I sell maybe a copywriting course. I'm just saying, okay, the value I bring is to help people learn copywriting. In fact, that's to get people to buy my copywriting course, to get people to learn copywriting and all of that stuff. But I need it to have a much more broader solution based value, so that in case a copywriting course is no longer available, right, you are still in market. In case your affiliate marketing is not available, you're still in market. So for instance, for someone who says, I want to show young people how they can become the best version of themselves through high income digital skills, right? Now you have allowed yourself to be broad, right? You've allowed yourself to be flexible, to brood around anything high income digital skills. So you're not just restricted to, although it would be great if you have one particular skill in mind, but it would be great if you talk about copywriting, if you talk about affiliate marketing, you talk about different high income skills that people can learn, right? And then you grow like that. And then you will now discover that maybe companies, for instance, um, what do you call this particular? There's this company, this school. I think it's old school. Is it old school? I can't remember now. Now they can reach out to you, being that they offer those kind of opportunities to young people to learn digital skills, right? And so, oh, please, can you be a brand ambassador, be an influencer for this? Let me use another brand for that we are very familiar with, Aproko Doctor is a very strong personal brand, right? Now, Aproko Doctor has put himself out there as this person that brings, his job is to get the Nigerian or the African population, or African young people, old people, bring them medical advice, simple medical tips, health tips that they can make use of, that, debunking myths and all of those stuff. So his sole purpose is education, right? So because his sole purpose is not to advertise himself as a medical doctor, but to educate people, is not to sell a particular product itself, but to get people, help people get a particular solution, which is which is education, which is knowledge, like to deal with a particular problem, which is ignorance, right? You can see people like since for instance, he has been talking about staying hydrated and all of that, which is part of his education and health tips. People like Aquafina water, bottled water, can easily say, "Oh, you've been talking about health tips, staying hydrated, promotes our product, right?" So you can see that he can promote Aquafina products. Let's assume that Aquafina products is even his own. You can see that he can promote his wife's business, food business, because he talks about health tips and all of that. So it doesn't box you, it doesn't keep you within a box. It allows you to shine through and be known for a particular solution. So if I'm thinking, if I'm looking for, okay, I need to know how do um health tips for diabetic patients, blah 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 blah, I can easily follow people like Aproko Doctor. I can follow someone who talks about health tips, right? So think beyond a single product and think in terms of solution. Now, I see a lot of affiliate marketers. In fact, they brand themselves around a product. For instance, I say, "Oh, I'm an expert ne affiliate." I don't even know why I'm using this example, but it's just a very obvious example. The same thing, the same thing. I'm a Jumia um um what do you call this? I'm a Jumia affiliate or something. You are branding yourself by the product and not the solution. So brand yourself by the solution, right? Then also have a unique selling point. What makes you different from Mr. A or Miss X, right? So this is now where, by the time we start talking about your your voice and personality, you will appreciate this tip better. So I need you to think, what is the unique thing about my solution, right? What am I bringing? Because the point of having a personal brand is for you to be able to stand out. So it will all be waste of time if you're only going to sound like another Aproko Doctor, if you're going to sound like another Salem King, if you're going to sound like another Alex Omozi. Do you understand? So you need to, what what difference can I bring? What's the gap that I can fill in, right? So let me use myself as an example. As somebody who is interested in online business growth, branding, and all of that. Now, me bringing this whole program to you guys is me filling a particular gap, right? So I noticed that there are a lot of courses out there. I went on Udemy, I checked on YouTube. There are a lot of courses that talk about there are a lot of people that talk about personal branding. But I had to look for where is the problem? Why are people, despite all of these solutions, we still have people who are struggling to find their voice, to build a powerful personal brand. There are a lot of people that don't know exactly what they are doing. You see a lot of heaveners, they're still doing the same freaking thing. You're seeing a lot of people who sell maybe skincare, they're still doing the same thing. Like, and then you're just getting lost in the whole crowd of people. So I feel like, okay, instead of me creating another course like everybody is doing, why don't I create a plan, a challenge that would help business owners to step by step, get to hold their hands step by step. Okay, this is what you should do first, then do this next, then do this next, and then let's see the difference. right? And let's see the impact rather. So this is an example I just gave. So I had to find like a unique way to be able to pass across my solution, right? So, and also knowing your target audience biggest pain point can help you come up with a unique solution, right? It will help you come up with a unique solution. So if I know that my biggest my audience biggest pain point is getting lost, not knowing what to do, um they like they get lost in the crowd of people, they're not able to stand out and attract the right customers for their product or to their brand and all of that, then I can now say, okay, what where are they missing it? Is there are their products already available for them? Yes, their products already available for them to abuse. They could have gone to YouTube, they could have purchased one course from this person, from this person, from this person. Okay, so why is there no change? Why is there no improvement, right? So I now discovered that okay, the problem is that they are overwhelmed with a lot of information and they actually need a step-by-step guide, right? That like an active practical guide that takes them to the process. So that's why I came up with this particular solution. So I want you to just, get inspired by what I'm doing and the examples I'm using. Then to make this even more clear, right? I need you to use this formula to outline your core value, the core value you bring to the table. So this formula, I help, I help, sorry, I help target audience. I help in brackets your target audience. So I help online business owners achieve then a desired outcome. That's what that target audience want to um, gain by then you put your unique approach, your unique solution, right? So I've seen you. A lot of you have already done this in your mission statement. So now this time around, I need you to just pick out, highlight those things, like make it in a single sentence. This gives you more clarity, right? So I help online business owners build a magnetic personal brand using my 14 days challenge or using practical guides or using practical challenges or using you get what I'm saying. So let's move on to the next thing. What do you want to be known for, right? So how do you want to sound? What's your brand personality like, right? So if this is my solution, right, to be able to, for instance, let's say I'm a wig seller, I help women, young women within the age of 30 to 35 achieve their best looks despite with a small budget using my luxury hair wigs, whatever. So and I'm like, okay, so there are a lot of wig sellers out there. There are a lot of hair vendors out there. What how do I want to sound? What do I want to be known for? Right? Do I want to pass off as an informative person, like I'm coming to share valuable information about my expertise, right? So within my expertise rather. So am I coming to say, okay, the three types of wigs you should not be caught wearing as a lady. So I come, I'm giving information, I'm telling you, okay, this is where to buy so wigs, this is how to style this, right? Do I want to sound like that? Or do I want to be motivational? Like, okay, as a young woman, you know that your personality is this, that, that. If you want to come out looking, you have to have this, you have to, you know, you don't have to give up as, all those motivational. So, do you want to come off as an inspiring, content creator? Whatever you're doing, you're passing your message through motivationals and all of that. Do you want to come off as like more entertaining, have some sprinkle of humor? For instance, you can see Aproko Doctor, he's talking about health, right? But he comes off in a very very humorous way, right? So he's not just talking about it like, okay, don't go 3 days without taking fruits and all of that. I mean, that's a simple message he could have passed, but he comes and say, Kwan, 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 aproko nation, all of that. So it comes from a very humorous. So we know him by that humorous personality. And now it might not be how he is in real life. You just have to find what you can connect to, what is authentic to you, and what you feel your audience can, be drawn to. But then think about it as what you the kind of skin you're comfortable wearing, right? Or do you want to sound authoritative? Right now, if you listen to people like Alex Homozy, like Andrew Tate, like which other person, like Vusi Tembekwayo. This they have, this demonstrate this authoritative, very strong knowledge, and in the way they pass their message, right? So you see them all suited up, or in any way they want to look, but they are so concrete, they are so precise, they are so firm about whatever it is they are telling you, the message that they're trying to pass. You get? So do you want to sound that way? How do you want to sound? Think about your audience, think about your message, think about even yourself, think about your personality, right? For me, I think I am people think I'm a very serious person in real life, like very, very serious, even though I think I'm very playful. I could be very, very playful, even though I could be firm, but very dramatic. If you're my friend, if you're very, very close to me, you know that I could be very dramatic for fun. So I would think about my personality that way and allow that to shine through my brand, to shine through myself. And again, this allows you to be unique. This allows you to be different. Now, I've seen a lot of other health content creators. They just come off and tell you, oh, this is what I would do, this is what I will not do as a health practitioner. I will not allow my patient to use this and use this and use that. They come up and say, why are you using you're using one toothbrush for 3 months? This is why you should not use one toothbrush for 3 months. There are bacteria that would do that, and they're just straightforward and plain. But people would rather want to listen to. I'm not saying that these people would not have their own audience. They have their own audience that follows them. As long as they find it valuable, right? Fine, they will gather the kind of audience that like the kind of content they put out. Meanwhile, Aproko Doctor has decided to approach it in a very humorous way. So you can be saying the same thing, but in a different way, right? So think about that personality that you want to wear or that you want to shine through. And then remember, you have to stay authentic. Don't try to copy someone else, right? Don't try to copy someone else, because you can model them, you can, put it in a mix of everything, because I think there's nothing new actually, right? So if you think I'm dramatic, there's somebody out there that is even way dramatic than I am. But then what stands me out is that I'm true to my personality. I'm authentic, right? I'm authentic. I've been able to pick from when I started content creation. I was following Vusi, I was following Kagan, I was following some other people within my niche and that liked what I do. That is why I remember I said, who are those people that you admire? They do something that you really admire. So by the time I started, it was almost like a mix of all of them. And then with time, I began to find my own voice. I began to understand, okay, this is how I feel comfortable talking. So I'm passing an information, a valuable information, passing a valuable knowledge, but I'm then adding my touch of humor, I'm adding my sarcasm, I'm adding my drama, my body language. Let's assume that I'm doing a video. In your writing, you can also reflect that, right? So you can decide you want to write like Chimamanda, right? Be very descriptive. You want to come from a story angle. You want to always have like start with a story, like a very like story narrative, or you want to just be plain hit straight to the point. This is what you want to do. But remember that you don't have to, like I always tell you guys, don't sound like a blog post, sound like a person that people can relate to. So you want at the end of the day people to be able to relate to you, to have your audience connect with you. So, what's the task for today? Find personal brands that you admire and draw inspiration from them. For every artist you meet out there, right? I'm not just talking about music artists, both music artists, both creatives, any people, creators, they have people that inspire them, right? So you want to, let me use myself as an example, right? If I want to make a design, I first go to Pinterest. I scroll and scroll and scroll on Pinterest, looking and looking. And the way the mind works, I start picking on, maybe I look at this design and then I see that, okay, I like this side of the design. It's going to register in my mind. And then I move. And then I see another design. I like how this was done. Even though I don't like the overall design, but I like how this was done. I pick that and save in my mind. By the end of the day, I'm going to create something unique, but I have gotten inspiration from two, three, four, five different places, right? So find those people, like make a list of five people that you really admire, that either they sound the way you love, the way they sound, or they're doing their, maybe within the same niche that you have chosen, or with the same industry, and then probably have similar audience that you have, and then just take your time, scroll through their posts, see how they put out their content, see the ones that did well, see the ones that did poorly, find inspiration, from there. Follow those people at least for the next 30 days. Just keep those people, train your algorithm. I'm going to be talking about this, right? Train your algorithm to always bring those kind of people your way, so that you will be able to build a mental register, right, of your own, of collections that you would be inspired by. Then the second task is, what is that one word or phrase that describes your brand personality? So I need to think about yourself. What do you want to sound like, right? Of course, you're going to be very authentic. You're going to be very, very authentic. What do you want to sound like? Okay, I missed one. Um, I missed one tax, which is, what is your unique selling point, right? What unique solution are you bringing to the table? Let me um I did that. I don't know how I forgot. What is your unique solution, right? So I need you to um be clear about this. What is that gap that you're trying to fill? What's this thing? So what's that gap that you want to fill? What's that gap? I need you to be really, really clear about it. And this might make you do a little research. This might make you want to say, okay, okay, based on what I want to bring to the table, what is out there already, what can I do differently, what am I doing differently that is very, very valuable, that will still get these people the result that they are looking for. And like I said, think beyond a particular product, think beyond one product. So let me assume that you already have a product, right, that you sell, right? I'm also understanding that there are people who might already have had a product. So you need to look at, how do you present your product as a unique solution? Because if I sell hair, of course, I'm not going to start creating a brand new. I'm not going to go and start going to a factory to produce a new hair. That, but then how am I going to present my product as the unique solution that people need? Right? How am I going to make them want to choose expression instead of Lush, even if they are they are similar brands, right? I sell expression locks, and another person sells Lush locks. So, how do I make my own expression locks? Like, okay, if you use expression locks, and all of these things is not even in changing the product itself, is in the way you present it, it's in the perception that you build around it, is how you want to deliver it to people, right? I think I was saying, I can't even remember where I was making this statement. I said, instead of just saying, um okay, I think it was on my channel where I was telling people that, okay, if you're going to do, if you want to make 200K in 30 days as a beginner and all of that, you have to have an offer, and an offer is different from a product, right? The offer is just the perception, just the perception. You make it look different, the way you're going to present. So even if I'm going to sell wig, I'm not just going to tell you come and buy wig. I'll just be dangling wig and shaking the head of a mannequin. you know I present it in a way that you feel like, this one is different from this one, right? So probably I'll tell you that, okay, this is what you're getting, right? Because I know that you have problems with this. I have outlined, I know my target audience very well. I'm going to put a package of wigs, wig comb, maybe a small bottle of hair oil or whatever. Especially for those people who sell physical products who understand what I mean. So think about your unique solution, your unique selling point, what you're bringing differently to the table. And that's it on today's episode, or today's challenge tax on the personal branding challenge. So if you have questions, feel free to ask on the group so that I would respond to your question.